Welcome back, friends. In the previous session, we were discussing some of the examples regarding water potential and solute potential. And I hope if you are together with me, you have understood the session and you are able to be together with me in this session again. Let's proceed with our discussion regarding transportation in the plant. And in today's session, we are going to discuss about the biological importance of water. Biological importance of water. So, regarding the biological importance of water, biological importance of water can be categorized into five major groups. First, we will have the metabolic role of water. Then, water is a solvent. Then, water is a lubricant, supporting role of water, and the miscellaneous function of water. So we discuss one aspect after another regarding the biological importance of water. Let's start with the metabolic role of water. Metabolic role of water. What is the role of water in metabolism? As we said in many sessions that metabolism, the sum total of all chemical reactions which are taking place within a cell. So we have different kinds of chemical reactions which are taking place within a cell, and by the differentiation of those different kinds of chemical reaction, some of them they require water, and that's where we can name the metabolic role of water. The first one is about hydrolysis. Hydrolysis is the end reaction which involves bond breaking by addition of water molecule. So without a presence of water molecule, hydrolysis reaction cannot take place because hydrolysis must involve addition of water molecule. Hydrolysis, we are saying that water is used to hydrolyze many substances, such as proteins to amino acids, fats to fatty acids and glycerol, and polysaccharide to monosaccharides. This reaction is normally occurring during digestion process, when you are breaking down large particles into smaller particles, which can be easier digestible and be absorbed into the body. Our second point is about the medium for chemical reaction. All chemical reaction in the cell, they take place in aqueous medium. All chemical reaction in the cell, they take place in aqueous medium. And when we are talking of aqueous medium, that means this medium containing water. Aqueous means a solution made up of dissolving a certain solute in water. And the third importance is that diffusion and osmosis. Water is essential to diffusion of material across surfaces such as the lungs or alimental canal. Materials passing through cell surface membrane by diffusion or osmosis, they in aqueous form or in aqueous medium. And as I told you that aqueous form or aqueous medium is formed when we dissolve a certain material in water. So without water, we can't form aqueous form, or we can't form the aqueous solution or aqueous medium, which can allow materials to pass through the cell membrane by either osmosis or diffusion. The fourth point is about the involvement of water in photosynthesis. So water, the photosynthetic substrate, is one among the major raw material in photosynthesis. These are four metabolic laws of water. I know they are many, and these are just to make you knowing that how or what do we mean when we are talking with the metabolic law of water. What kind of things we are dealing with, tunazungumzia nini tukisema metabolic law of water. Lakini toka hapo tunaenda kwenye water is solvent. So we know the rule of solvent is to dissolve a solute during formation of a solution. Most of things in the body, they are in solution form, but the major solvent which dissolve these solutes is water. The major solvent which dissolve these solutes is the water. So we are saying that water tend to dissolve, or water readily dissolve other substances and therefore use the form. After dissolving the substances, water can be used in different categories of activities in the body. First is the transportation in the blood plasma, then in the tissue fluid, and in the lymph. All are predominantly water, and they are used to dissolve a wide range of substances which can then be easier transported. So in the blood plasma, we have different components, and we have different materials such as sodium chloride, and they are dissolved there, or potassium. Even carbon dioxide is carried in blood, sometimes in dissolved form, or even when it's not in dissolved form, but it can dissolve or react with water to form a weak carbonic acid, which dissociate to form hydrogen there, and hydrogen carbonate, which is carried by the combining with the hemoglobin. So all of those processes, they require water. So transportation, for example, in blood plasma, we have sodium chloride, we have potassium, and other minerals. They are dissolved in water. Then tissue fluid, we shall discuss in the topic of excretion, that what or how the tissue fluid is formed. Tissue fluid, the fluid which is between the cells in the body, how the tissue fluid is formed. And then we have the lymph, which is the collection of our tissue fluid. When it is collected and is brought back to the veins, it is called the lymph. All of these, they are composed, or they are predominantly made of water, and they are used to dissolve a wide range of substances and even to transport them all over the body. From there, we have the remover of wastes, which is the second important role of water as the solvent. So metabolic waste like ammonia and urea are removed from the body in solution form. They are removed from the body in solution form, and since they are removed in solution form, they require water. Water is required to dissolve them, making them solution, and then they are removed from the body. Waste products such as uric acid, they do not require water because they are insoluble and they are non-toxic. Because of the less toxicity of being non-toxic, that means it is very easier to remove them from the body even without the presence of high amount of water. So they dissolve in water to form solution, then they are removed to outside of the body. They are removed to outside of the body. The third rule of water, as it is used the solvent, is in secretion. As it is used the solvent, water is used in secretion. Now, as we define secretion and excretion, it is the removal of useful substances from the body. Removal of useful substances from the body. We know about excretion. Excretion is about the removal of waste products of metabolism from the body. But secretion is the removal of the useful substances from the body. So some of the materials, they can be secreted outside of the cell, but they are outside of the cell, they are still useful. That's what we call the secretion. Also, for example, even in animal cells, the process by which the hormones they are produced by the glands, and then after production, when the glands they are stimulated, they are secreted. We are saying, or we are defining that process as secretion. Why? It is because the hormones which are produced, they are removed outside of the glands, but they are useful. Or even the release of enzymes by different processes. It is some of the examples of the secretion process. So we are saying that most secretion comprise substances in aqueous solution. Most digestive juices have salt and enzymes in solution. For example, we have tears consist of largely of water, and snake venoms have toxins in suspension in water. So tunapokuwa tunaona machozi ya binadamu, tears yanakuwa consist of largely of water, and pia snake venom, yani sumu ya nyoka, comprise of toxins, inakuwa ina sumu kwenye suspension. So for example, when you are talking of tears, you can say that how the removal of tears is secretion. It is secretion process. However, it is stimulated in some of the emotional conditions. So it is secretion 100%, but it is stimulated by some of the emotional stimulus. So the third emotional stimulus can stimulate the secretion of tears, and the role of tears is not only to express the feeling that you are sad, but also it has a lot of the physiological rules and protection rules, as how you studied in your Form 3, because it helps also to remove some of the microorganisms which are present in the in the eyes which came together with the dust. When you cry, it is easier to remove them. That's why, kwa mfano, mdudu akiingia jichoni, jicho linatoa tears, linatoa machozi. Why? It is because it is the physiological adaptation by which we are removing the particles which can harm the eye. And then from there we can move to the role of water and the lubricant. As we know that a role of lubricant is to lubricate or to make things soft, to make the reactions or different processes in the body to continue if they were required. So without a lubricant, different processes in the body could be very difficult to take place, or even if they could take place, they can lead to injury or different wounds formation. Now, what is a lubricant? We are saying that what is the property, especially it is viscosity. Viscosity means the ability of molecules of different particles. Viscosity, attraction of water molecules themselves is called as a viscosity. Different molecules, it is not viscosity, it is called as the adhesion force. But viscosity, being viscous, is because of the attraction of the water molecules themselves, and then it is difficult to pour a substance which is highly viscous. For example, when you are talking of things like a honey, bee honey. So tunapokuwa tunazungumzia kitu kama asali, asali is very viscous, ndio maana if you try to pour it will be very difficult. So let's say if you have a bee honey in a certain cup, and then if you try to pour it, it will be very difficult. That is because it is more viscous. So viscosity is normally associated with the higher force of attraction between the molecules of a substance, and because of the higher force of attraction between the molecules of the substance, then later this leads to the lubricating property of that substance. So water's property, especially it is viscosity, make it a useful lubricant. Lubricating fluids, which are mostly include, first is the mucus, used externally to aid movement in animals such as snail. Movement in animals such as snail, ukimgusa tu snail utakuta ana utando kwa nje, ile ni kwa sababu ya mucus, and ile mucus pia inamprotect yeye asiumie anapopita kwa different kinds of environment. And earthworm, or internally in vagina and the gut wall. So externally it supports movement in snail and earthworm, but internally in the vagina and the gut wall we have mucus, which are very important to prevent friction during lubrication process in the vagina during copulation or during sexual intercourse. There is a interchanging process, and there is the force which is used. So without the presence of mucus, even we have the stratified squamous thyroid epithelium, which is non-keratinized in the vagina, but that is stratified non-keratinized stratified squamous cell epithelium in the vagina is not enough to prevent friction. So that's why we are adding the role of mucus so as to prevent friction in these regions. From there we have the gut wall, in which friction results from the passage of food from the upper of the mouth. The mouth itself, it is covered by squamous epithelium. The oral cavity is covered by squamous epithelium. The stratified squamous epithelium. And then when we are moving to esophagus, is also covered by the stratified squamous epithelium. This is because the movement of food in the esophagus is somehow using forces. That's why it is covered by squamous epithelium. But also stratified squamous epithelium in the esophagus, they do not possess glands. If there are glands, only very few of them, but most often they do not associated with the glands. That's why it's not most often to see adenocarcinoma in the esophagus. Adenocarcinoma is the cancer which involves the gland cell. So when we are reaching the stomach, it is lined by the columnar epithelium. It is lined by the columnar epithelium. And the columnar epithelium in the stomach, they are very important because they are glandular in nature, and they secrete the gastric juice, which is used or which contain digestive components with the different enzymes activated by the components of gastric juice itself, and then they become active. And after becoming active, they use it to digest the food. From there, let's move to synovial fluid. It is present in many joints, and we have different categories of joints. Not only synovial, we have different fibrous joints and things like that. But most of joints, or many joints which perform movements in large extent, they are made up of synovial fluid. So for some joints which do not perform movement much, there's no need of synovial fluid. But synovial fluid tend to prevent lubrication in joints. Tend to prevent friction in joints. So provides lubrication, and by providing lubrication, enable movement to occur without an injury. From there, we can move to pleural fluid. Pleural fluid is the fluid which tend to surround the lungs. So it lubricates movement of the lungs during breathing. When you're breathing in and out, pleural fluid tend to lubricate the movement of the lungs during breathing. And then we have the pericardial fluid. Pericardial fluid, it lubricates movement of the heart. It lubricates movement of the heart. That is called the pericardial fluid. So pleural, movement of the heart. Pericardial, cardio is from the heart. Then from there we have perivascular fluid. Perivascular fluid. It lubricates our movement of our internal organs. Visceral movement of organ in a total form, we are calling them the body visceral. So perivascular fluid tend to lubricate the movement of our different internal organs, such as a peristaltic motion of the alimentary canal. It is lubricated by the perivascular fluid. From there, we can go to supporting role of water. How water tend to support different tissues in plants or animals. So with its large cohesive force, as I said before, cohesive force is the force of attraction between the molecules of the same substance. So molecules of water, when they are staying together, they attract to each other. So with its large cohesive force, water molecule lie close together. They lie close together. That means they are existing together. They're existing together. Water is therefore not easier compressed. It is not easier compressed, making it a useful means of supporting organisms. It is very difficult to compress water because the water molecules themselves, they attract each other and they lie close to each other. So what we are saying is that water therefore not easier compressed and making it useful as a means of supporting organism. Example include the hydrostatic skeleton in an animal like earthworm are supported by the pressure of the aqueous medium with them. So in an animal like earthworm, they don't have the skeleton as how we human beings have the bone skeleton, but for them they have the hydrostatic skeleton. The hydrostatic skeleton tend to provide support to the earthworm because water molecules themselves, they exert the cohesive force. Also, we have the tug of pressure, which is very important in herbaceous plants, and the herbaceous parts of the woody ones are supported by the osmotic influx of water to the cell. So let us stop the session here and find one example of the herbaceous plant, because I know and many of you, when we are talking of the herbaceous plant, you don't know even herbaceous plants, but you are just hearing. Let us show you one of the example of the herbaceous plants. Now we can continue with our discussion regarding the tug of pressure. I know you have normally meet with these plants. Huu ni mchicha wa kawaida, and ukiangalia kwenye plant kama mchicha, huu mchicha it is not wood. You know, when we are talking of wood, ni mmea ambao unakuwa kama hivi, unakuwa ni mti kabisa. Hata ukikata hivi, this is wood. Lakini kwenye mmea kama mchicha, what you find is that cutting it at the top like this point, it is very easier. This is because there is no wood. But in some points like this which mature, it is somehow tough to cut it because of the just development of the fibrous tissues. But if you want to believe that these plants, their support comes from the tug of pressure, look at them during a severe sun condition. You know, we have different categories of plants. For example, these are the glasses. You see, the glasses or the appearance of the glasses, different glasses, they are normally monocotyledonous. Different glasses, how they appear, it is different from how the sebaceous plants they appear. Glasses, they are not in the sebaceous plants groups. So glasses are normally, even in the sun condition, they don't fall down. But the sebaceous plants, they fall down during sun. If there is severe sun, they fall down. For example, mchicha, jua likiwaka sana, au plants like this, jua likiwaka sana, you found kwamba zimeanguka chini. These are the one which are called the sebaceous plant. So jua likiwaka sana, mmea una undergo transpiration. Ukiundergo transpiration, una lose water, na water ndio liko nafanya nini? Support. Kwa mmea unafanyaje? Unaanguka. And some of the plants, small plants like this, they are called sebaceous. Actually, they are not woody. They are not comprising of the woody stem. You can see plants like this. All of these, they can be categorized as sebaceous. So sebaceous plants, they can't tolerate the loss of water by transpiration. They will fall down during severe sun. Sebaceous plants, they fall down. As we are continue with the supporting role of water, we have the humors of the eye. Humors of the eye, as we know, in the eye we have the aqueous humor and the vitreous humor. All of these, they tend to support the structure of the eye, how it should be. So the humors of the eye, the shape of the eye in the vertebrates is maintained by aqueous and vitreous humor within them. Both are largely composed of water, even if they are composed of the salts and different materials, but the major content is water. Number 4, we have amniotic fluid. This supports and protects the mammalian fetus during development. Support and protect mammalian fetus during development. We have different categories of fluid, but amniotic is the important one among others. From there, number 5, we have the erection of penis. As we know that erection of penis is by the accumulation of blood in the penis, and then blood tend to build pressure. So the penis tend to erect, it is because of the accumulation of blood. So that means blood is largely made up of water, and it tends to support the tissues or the sponge tissues of the penis, and thus make it erect. That is another supporting role of water. From there, we are saying that medium in which to live. Water provides support to the organisms that live within it. So different organisms tend to take their habitats they tend to inhabit in water. Very large organisms such as whales and nyangumi, returned to water at their sheer size made movement in land difficult. So yeah, when they are saying that returned to water, that means during the process of evolution, when they tried to live in mainland, it was difficult, so they decided to remain in water. From there, we have the miscellaneous functions of water. When we are talking of the miscellaneous function, we means the functions which are not understood to be categorized in which group. Kwa hiyo ni zile function ambazo hatuwezi tukaziweka kwenye magrupu hayo hapo juu. Ziko ni sana kusema other functions of water. Miscellaneous functions of water. We have the temperature control. Evaporation of water during sweating and panting is used to cool the body. Then you have the medium for dispersal. Water may be used to disperse larval stage of some terrestrial organism in mosses and ferns. Water is the medium in which sperm are transferred. Sperm of a human being, they are transferred, or even sperm of the plants like mosses and ferns. The buildup of the osmotic pressure help to disperse the seeds of the squatting cucumber. So different For example, this squatting cucumber, building up of the osmotic pressure then will lead to bursting of the cucumber itself, and then hence help to disperse the seeds. And number 3 is healing and balance. In the mammalian ear, the watery endolymph and the perilymph play a role in healing and balance, So you can observe the role of water in this condition. So we have discussed this biological importance of water in both animals and plants, but also we have the biological importance of water in plants. The first biological importance of water in plants is the germination of seed. As we know, one among the conditions for seed to germinate is water. So water swells and softens the taste of the seed and help further development of the plant. In other physiological reactions of germination, water is very important to make sure that the reaction they are taking place, because as we said, all metabolic reactions they are taking place through the all metabolic process they are taking place through the water or through the aqueous medium. Then we are saying that it acts at the medium where enzymes function properly. Enzymes function properly to bring about the germination of seeds. So without water, that means the enzyme would not function properly and seed will not germinate. In the second point, what is the reagent of photosynthesis? So what is the raw material for the process of photosynthesis? Maana yake ni kwamba inatumika kwenye photosynthesis, hiyo tunafahamu wote. Water is broken down by light to release hydrogen proton and oxygen gas, which escape the waste product. So these are the biological importances of water in plants, and other of them we have already discussed them in different parts of the points which you have passed through. In the next session, we'll start discussing about the simple plant tissues. So don't miss the next sessions regarding transportation. It is where transportation topic will start to be enjoyable. This was just the part of introducing different parts of transportation. And later I wish you nice studies. If you are in need of these notes, you can visit the Kipaji app. Then you can buy them at the very low cost, which is affordable to every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe the channel and share the link of this video to different students, which can ease the process of study to a number of students all over Tanzania and even all over the world using the syllabus like ours. So thank you everybody, and later wish you nice studies.